Hi, this is Mike Smith with The Competent Human, and I wanted to go over today the difference between the Tapco and Arsenal trigger groups and why I think the Arsenal is much better performing and why I think you should steer clear of the Tapco. This is sort of a video response to James Yeager had a video a while back entitled, I think, Tapco triggers suck or something, or Tapco sucks or something like that. And that had spurred me to try out a different trigger group because they were citing safety concerns. And I was having similar issues where even with a new trigger, I was getting doubling. And that's a really troubling thing. And I was also getting, when I tried to reset, I would sometimes fire, not exactly an ND, but not when I was firing when I didn't intend to. And it was a really nasty thing. So unless I did a very fast, like all the way off reset, you know, not just waiting until I think it might be called the disconnector or something like that, you know, you get 2 pops when the trigger resets. So anyway, we're going to go to the tabletop and I'm going to show you why I think that's happening and why you should steer to the 2-stage Arsenal trigger. All right, let's see that. Alright, so here is the Arsenal trigger group on the right and the Tapco trigger group on the left. The 2 stages on the Arsenal group are really clear to see. I'm going to zoom in first. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So when the trigger hook is engaging, it starts out up here and then it slides up and it hits. You can see very clearly this lip right here. It's on both sides. And if you have a double hook trigger, there's a hook here and a hook on the other side. And I'll show you that hook right now, and you can see pretty clearly the difference as to why these two are behaving so differently. Okay, there's the the Arsenal trigger. And there's also a little dimple right there. The 2 dimples that I just showed you, or little raised features, interlock like 2 hands hooking, or 2 sets of fingers. So they interlock like this. On the Tapco, it's the opposite. It's almost inverted. So there's no, that's me, not you. There's no so on the Tapco, it's almost opposite. On the hammer, it's just flat. See if I can get it to lock back in here. There we go. So in my less educated times, I polished up here thinking that that was where the trigger was. Brain fart. Anyway, where that hook is engaging is right here. And it's just a smooth drop off right there. Now here's where I think the real problem is. And I think it's causing some runaway. And I'm not a gunsmith, so I am an engineer and a physicist though, so I think I have something, I think I'm qualified to speak on this. Okay, I have not modified this Tapco hook at all. This is the way it came. Okay, so you start out with that part, with the hammer resting back in here, and then as you get to the edge, see how it goes the other way? So remember, on the Arsenal hook, it actually poked out here and captured a little bit. On this one, it's the other way, so that the closer you get to the edge, the more it wants to fall off. And so that doesn't strike me as a good design. And it really shows up in how it fires. It's mushy. You don't know where it's going to break, and it'll double easily on you. And I asked Billy Cho, who's like a real hotshot gunsmith, about this before I had seen the geometries of these 2 trigger groups, and I had him fire one of my rifles that doubled easily for me, and he didn't have any problem, and he said that I just had poor trigger control. And I think that's true, that when you have a hot shot shooter like Billy, that this probably isn't a problem for you because your fingers are just iron. But for a newbie, and especially I imagine if you're jacked up and under stress, that's not what your situation is going to be. And so I don't, under stress, want to fire when I'm trying to reset my trigger. And so I think that this inverted hook here is a real problem. So that, I think, is the reason that the Tapcos are a problem, and I would steer you to Arsenal. Again, I'm not a gunsmith, so I don't have a professional opinion on this, but I have had much more positive reviews or experience with the Arsenal. All right, so that was the difference between the Arsenal and the Tapco. You got a close-up view there. They're the same price. I leave it to you for where you'd go. Do see James Yeager had a video on problems they've been seeing over there that are safety related, and that's what initially spurred me to check out the Arsenal. So take it all for what it's worth. This is Mike Smith with Competent Human, signing off.